Prime Minister, did he read the letter from the Royal Forest and Bird Protection Society dated 3rd of December 2009, alerting him to the fact that the Minister of Agriculture had asked applicants for a water conservation order on the Hurunui River to freeze their application? If so, when?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I read the letter after the member raised the issue in the House on the 30th of March.
Dr. Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the Prime Minister consider that when a major NGO points out that they have serious concerns with the conduct of a minister of his government, and moreover that the answer a minister has given to a written question is incorrect, does he consider that 4 months is fast enough action?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, well, I believe the Minister has addressed that by making his personal statement in the House today.
Point of order.
Point of order, Dr. Russel Norman.
It was about the Prime Minister's behaviour, Mr. Speaker. It was about whether he was acting with sufficient alacrity, whether 4 months was enough time.
I think the member has further supplementaries. I think it would be a bit pedantic for me to try and ask for a more precise answer on that one. Dr. Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does he agree that the contents of the letter and the Minister's personal statement today contradict the Minister's answer to written question 14809 that he had not discussed the water conservation order process on the Hurunui with any party? If so, will he ask the Minister to formally correct the answer?
Mr. Speaker, no, but I would note that the Minister did give some clarification and some basic principle around what he was talking about when he answered that question. I think gave some content to it.
Dr. Russel Norman.
The question was, would he ask him to correct the answer?
Well, Order. I almost moved to actually caution the member in implying in his question something that the Minister has already given a personal explanation clarifying, and that can't be disputed any further now. And I think given the events that have taken place, I think the Prime Minister's answer was reasonable. Dr. Russel Norman, supplementary.
Supplementary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Has the Prime Minister looked at the written question and answer that's the subject of this debate, which says to the Minister of Agriculture, has he discussed an appeal on the report of the water conservation order application with any party, to which the Minister's answer was clearly no in the written question? Has he actually looked at that question?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, no, but I'm happy with the explanation the Minister gave in the House this afternoon.
Dr. Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When the Prime Minister met with Jerry Brownlee and David Carter on the 23rd of November last year to discuss, quote from the file note, how to advance economic development through irrigation development, end quote, did David Carter declare his interests in the Hurunui region at that meeting?
Point of order, the Honourable David Carter.
Mr. Speaker, earlier I made a personal explanation. I have not got a personal interest in any further development in the Hurunui water project.
Speaker.
Well, order. There's no need to have a debate on that matter. What the Minister has said is absolutely correct. He made a personal explanation to the House where he has told the House he has no personal interest in that matter, and that can't be disputed now in the House. Point of order, Dr. Russel Norman.
Mr. Speaker, what the Minister actually just said in his point of order and in his personal explanation was that he has no personal interest in further development in that region, which you heard, when you repeated it, you said he has no personal interest in the region. He clearly has an interest in the region. His personal statement says he has no further interest in further development in irrigation in the region. My question is about his current interests in the region.
I hear the honourable member, and indeed if the question relates to the existing consent, then that's fine. I invite the member to repeat his question.
Mr. Speaker, when the Prime Minister met with Jerry Brownlee and David Carter on the 23rd of November 2009 to discuss, quoting from the file note, how to advance economic development through irrigation development, end quote, did David Carter declare his interests in the Hurunui region?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, no, and he wouldn't need to because he didn't have a conflict of interest.
Supplementary.
Dr. Russel Norman.
When he met with Jerry Brownlee and David Carter on the 23rd of November 2009 to discuss, quote, how to advance economic development through irrigation development, did David Carter indicate that he had spoken to the applicants for the water conservation order to suggest that they freeze it?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, no, but I have no issues with the Minister actually trying to involve parties in discussions to avoid lengthy litigation.
Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Is it not the case that he is having a lower standard for potential conflicts of interest in this case because he and his government have an explicit agenda to promote irrigation in Canterbury?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, no, it's the case that the member is making things up about the Minister because he can't win the argument about the environment.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, Dr. Russell Norman.
Mr Speaker, the Prime Minister, by alleging that I'm making things up, is alleging that I am lying. I'm not making things up. I am not lying.
Order. I didn't discern from the Prime Minister's answer is that he was in any way impugning the member's integrity. I mean, it was perhaps an unnecessary addition to the answer. And because it caused the member, I'd just ask the Prime Minister to withdraw that last part of the answer.
I withdraw.
Question number 9, this time, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, my